are. You are. Are you wearing the number 7?
Yeah.
Is this from the MJ?
That's
MJ
right.
Jam session?
Exactly. You're right. You know, think about way back in the beginning, the Jackson 5. I'm saying to myself, boy, what a legacy. What? Who would have thought? Who would have known they would go this big? And it's crazy. And I'm thinking about the brothers on tour right now. Started way back this, in the beginning. You know, it's like, wow. This it's beyond comprehension. The heights they went to, you know, beyond comprehension. I'm just thinking about from small, humble beginnings to known all over the world, the whole planet. There's nowhere you can go and mention Michael Jackson's name and they don't know him.
Those shoes, you can see the wear and tear on it because you can see where he dragged his foot on the toe box.
Never. Is the flash off okay?
It's usually better with the flash off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it seems like the book wants to
Oh, the glare.
do its own thing.
Take
Probably
that
just
off.
went behind him and just
then it's
ripped it off.
There's that, and then that.
That's it.
Zoom.
He's out.
That's it, from the front?
Yeah.
That's
Boom.
it.
That was
Done.
somebody's job, huh?
I would have done that.
Michael
Probably went
Bush did
behind
that.
him and just ripped it off.
I'm sure Michael Bush did.
I want Michael to do a jacket for me, but I can't afford it.
She's across the street.
Okay, and guess which page I usually sign? Have you looked in here yet?
I'm going to leave that till I get home.
This is the page I usually sign.
Yeah, I saw that. Go ahead and knock it out. Just trash it.
R-A-Y.
Yeah, it's tough to look at the book when the real stuff is here. Yeah, Thank you very much. Very shiny paper.
Black. This one's Black Cat Another. This was we had started this after the Bad album was out, and we this was where Michael was like, are we going to stay with this kind of look and we're going to move on? He had it on. I don't know. The estate's probably got some photos of him in it, some still photos, but it was a jacket that was in the making of that never really was used for a piece because we were transitioning from this into the Dangerous album look. The jacket behind here is what he was rehearsed there and wrote most of We Are the World with Lionel Richie at, I believe it was Charlie Chaplin Studios on La Brea. There's some shots of him on the floor, literally on the floor with Lionel Richie going over the notes of the song. So on black light that would turn white. But this was literally, if that was under black light, that would glow totally white. You can tell by the zipper damage.
Right.
And every time he'd say, "Oh, Bush, you have to stay up all night to fix my zippers," because the next show it was supposed to be perfect. That every show got the same show. No show there's a letdown to anybody.
Right.
Everyone paid the same amount of money. They get the same show. It's not like, okay, and that's why that jacket got so damaged. That's why I got it back. It's just it's beat. Started out red leather, and then from the Bad tour it went to red snakeskin.
Right.
From that tour it went to this is sea bass. Chilean sea bass skin, and then from that it went to plastic.
And all very light.
Well, this one's a little bit heavier, but then again, it's getting older. The tour's progressing through your life.
You can tell that
This
he
was-
wore that a lot.
Yeah, the neck here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's why this was one of his favorite jackets, because you still got the glitter, you got the shine, but it's plastic. It's very, very lightweight.
Right.
But because it is plastic, it gets very hot.
And,
And then then on This Is It, we were going to do that jacket, but it was going to burst into flames.
I was going to ask you, what did they decide on that Kevlar idea?
We did it out of Kevlar because we were going to do 50 shows supposedly, and that we knew that basically that when Michael was going to take the jacket off, and when he threw it into the air, it was going to be rigged that it burst into flames. That and again, Michael was, I've danced so hard, and the song is so hot, the jacket's going to burst into flames. And it's like, Mike, you and fire don't really mix well together.
Yeah.
And he
We've had
laughed.
this talk
He
before.
goes, no, he laughed and laughed. He said, I know, but it's the piece. Of any song I've ever done, that's the jacket. That's the rock and roll jacket that has to catch on fire. No one's ever done it. Guitars have caught on fire, drums have caught on fire, speakers have caught on fire, but not the beaded jacket. So that was, we were going to have to make it out of Kevlar, which was flame-proof fabric. We were still fearful of the thread or the zippers melting, because it wasn't just like flash, boom. No, this was burst into Michael Jackson flames. This was...
Michael fires are a little different to regular people fires.
Yes, yeah, no, this was like, we were going to have a fire, the fire department was coming in, gone. We had to actually send samples and stuff to make sure it was going to pass fire code with that many people in.
Wow.
No, it was the Michael Jackson fire.
Michael fire.
Michael Fire. Okay, there were 2 versions of that made, and that was the beginning of the start of the book. We made the first one and handed it to Michael. It was made around the clock. It was made. He called back like 2 or 3 days later and said, Bush, I gave away your coat. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, that was your coat. But he said, I need another one because I gave it away. And it was like, what did I hand him? Because Michael had the memory of an elephant. And it's like, how? And that started everything we have to start doing now. It has to be photographed, just for fear that he's going to want another one.
Yeah.
So it was just intensely photographed, and the detail, every bit of it. And Michael started seeing these photographs, these slides, and that's when it started. You need to do a book. You got to do a book. You need to show the behind the scenes of how the clothes are made.
Right.
There's no costume book out there. You have pattern books. You have vintage European fashion magazines, but not how my clothes were made. To me, it's a shirt,
Okay, yeah,
but it could be a leotard spandex. It's basically a version of the shirt he actually wore on the Bad album cover and the Bad music short video. And being that it was on black on that, it worked great on film, but not live. Michael on a black floor, on a black background, with black shoes, with black pants. If that was black,
Where'd he go?
where'd he go? And you saw this little head. And the straps down the arms is over the top of what that shirt was that he wore actually in the video.
Cool.
There was red, black, and silver, right?
Uh-huh.
Is that all the colors that there
A
were?
blue one.
And a blue.
There was like a sapphire blue one.
Because it started with black stuff and you
Yeah, black, and then
the
you can see his
back-
head. You're watching the tapes of him perform. It's like, oh, look, a little head. Where's the rest of it?
Wasn't there like a huge evolution of the bachelor costume for Michael? From the
Yeah.
Japan to
Yeah.
when we saw him in Ireland, it was
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah, it changed drastically. Okay, basically, everyone had. Then again, Michael loved it because everyone made their own version of what 7/7 meant, which Michael meant it's what anyone wants it to be, so it can be everybody.
Right.
But okay, now Michael told me personally, he's the 7th child born in the family. He was born in 1958, so if you add 58, 19 and 58, you get 77. So that's why. And then people always question, what does that mean? So you paid attention. Because you may not remember that outfit, but what does that mean? And it was an education,
the
the
one-
puzzle. But no, most of Michael's clothes, someplace there was a 7/7, even if it was on the inside the lining. And most of his court clothes that he was going to court in the vest had his initials with 3 little cherubs holding MJJ over his heart,
Cool.
just on inside of his vest that no one saw besides Mike.
I-
If anyone knows anything about fencing, that is a fencing shirt for European athletes in fencing.
I did not know that.
Well, because then, the first one first of all, you're doing with Michael, you're going, okay, what hasn't he had on before? We're going on tour again. He had on that shirt. We have to go, what's the next step? And we just started noticing, I think one night on the news, they showed someone fencing in Europe. And it's like, wow, look at, the move of the fencer was more what attracted us to the shirt than the actual shirt did at first.
Had a functionality of it.
And then you start looking at it, and then you notice, we showed Michael. So we went to the fencing academy here on Venice Boulevard where they teach fencing, and we watched that shirt being used and went, okay, that's what we need to do for Michael. And then Michael liked it because this moved here. When he
Yeah.
danced, it moved, and there's a little tail on the back that moved. So the shirt dances as much as I do, but it's a European fencing shirt is what it is.
My last one.
The sport of kings, actually. Fencing is a sport of kings.
That makes perfect sense.
King of pop, kind of all fit together. So.
I'm majestic, magnificent, magician extraordinaire. Well, Michael and I go back for 30 years, and I was introduced to him by Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all times. He introduced me to Michael Jackson. We became good friends, and I was teaching Michael magic. And over the years, after I was teaching him magic and everything, we became like, how can I put it, confidants. And all these jackets and stuff, I've seen them all, and I have like lived a part of all this, and anything time I can support anything about Michael Jackson, my friend and brother, I do, because of the simple fact, Michael is, how can I put it, the greatest entertainer ever lived in the history of the world, the whole planet Earth, and thank God I was blessed to be a part of that and be in his presence, his aura, his family, his mother is my mother, and be a part of that. That's why I come here to support Michael Bush on his thing he's doing here. He's a great designer, and I wish him all the best.
Jay Feldman.
I have mothballs. I have a lot of cost to preserve. Hopefully they end up with people who can preserve them. And like Michael's music is all over the world. Hopefully these jackets end up all over the world. Right now they're stayed in one little area. That's what's wrong with them. They need to be out with everybody. Here we go.
Okay.
Check it and see.